So the Pacific Nations Cup final has just taken place, Fiji versus Japan, and it is the Flying Fijians in a thrilling contest that walk away as the champions for back-to-back seasons. And I have to say, this game had a little bit of everything. Had controversy in the second half, had some brilliant running rugby from both of these sides, lead changes, the lot, all happening throughout this game. It was an absolutely phenomenal way to end the competition. In this review, we'll be looking through who were the stand-up players, a few of the important moments that happened throughout the contest, and of course, what is next for these two sides now that the Pacific Nations Cup has come to a close. So starting off in this match, the Japanese got off to a great start. Hayate Ira scoring in just the 4th minute of the contest, and from there it seemed like Japan had firmly taken control of how this match was going to be going. They took a 3-pointer not too long after in the 20th minute, so 10 points to nil, the score that sat in favour of the Brave Blossoms. Then from there, Fiji, they went berserk throughout that first half. Only 30 seconds later, we saw Masaki Vothi score himself the try. Tabua Val scored in the 31st, Tavita Ikanaveri in the 35th, and then Georgie Nasova scoring in the 40th, which gave Fiji the lead at halftime, 26 points to the 10. So Japan had the much better start. They seemed structured, Fiji making a few early mistakes, although discipline was not actually a factor there. It was later on in the game that we saw that discipline start to dwindle for the Fijians. They started off the second half in the same way that they finished the first. Georgie Nasova getting himself the try, making the score 33 points to nil after some consistent kicking from Caleb Muntz. So it went from 10 points in favour of the Japanese to 23 points in favour of Fiji. You would think that that would be the game done, but the Pacific Nations Cup just keeps on giving, and then the comeback did start for this Japanese side. We saw Nakakusu scoring the try in the 47th. We then saw a yellow card for Viliami Mata, which did lead to a lot of confusion when it came to those scrums. Fiji making some poor decisions in terms of whether or not to have 7 or 8 men in a scrum, and that actually led to another yellow card, that time for Aroni Maui after the head knock of Hiareti Hetep. But we did see the second try for Hayate Ira. He did score it in the 60th minute, so throughout the final moments of this game, the scores were separated by 6, and for those final few moments, that was when we really got to see what Fiji were made of. Throughout the match, they had to fight the adversity of at times playing with 14 or even 13 men out there on the field. We did see some brilliant work from Caleb Muntz, getting an absolutely crucial steal just out from his goal line, as well as in the final moments when Japan did drop that ball, Muntz swooped on it, got the possession back, and helped close out the game for the Flying Fijians. So he is definitely one who did step up. Tabua Val, I thought, was another Fijian who did extremely well throughout this game. Georgie Nasova getting himself the double, but just enforcing that kind of physicality, fast offloading, the type of style that people love to see from the Fijians. In the Japanese lineup, we saw quite a bit of Seon-Sin Lee in that number 10 jersey, normally pretty consistent off the kicking tee. This game was no different. Warner Durns getting heavily involved, and of course, those front rowers, Hayate Ira getting himself the 2 tries, Takeuchi always working hard at scrum time, although in this game he found a little bit more of a match on that loose head side. And then some great work from Makesi, who was running the ball extremely hard for Japan throughout this game. But what is next for these two sides? Well, the November internationals start rolling around in the very near future. I can't believe we're already at the end of September for this year. But in the November internationals, we will get to see quite a few games for the Japanese. Fiji, they've got a few confirmed already. And hopefully we get to see maybe 1 or 2 extras added in there for good measure. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning into this review. If you did enjoy, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let me know what you thought of this hectic final between the two teams. The rematch, a lot closer than we saw last year, and I feel like it was for the better because we got to see some hectic moments, some really intense play, and some phenomenal work from both of these teams. So thank you all very much for tuning in, and I will see you all for the next one.